This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock.
Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB. Today in the arena we are covering a historic deck that is so strong that it could be banned at any second. So it got me to step out of standard, because if there's one thing I am committed to in arena, it's showing you how freaking evil the client can be. And this deck is the ultimate tilt machine. This is Tainted Pact combo. Tainted Pact combo in Historic, a blue-black control deck. It can also be Grixis. I've also seen Sultai versions. You can play it anywhere you want to, as long as it has a little bit of black and a little bit of blue. And it revolves around the combo of Thassa's Oracle, which is blue-blue for a 1/3 when it enters the battlefield. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is your devotion to blue. Put one of them on top of your library, the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. If X is greater than or equal to the number of cards in your library, you win the game. And Tainted Pact, which says exile the top card of your library. You may put the card into your hand unless it has the same name as another card exiled this way. Repeat this process until you put a card into your hand or you exile 2 cards with the same name, whichever comes first. So if you hit identical cards without putting something into your hand, you're done and you get nothing. However, if your deck is a singleton deck, if everything in the deck is a one of, that will never happen, which means you get the option to completely exile your own library. And if you do that with a Thassa's Oracle, you just win the game. Since Tainted Pact is an instant and Thassa's Oracle is a permanent and the devotion goes off for somewhat 0, then it's pretty powerful, and it's actually a really hard combo to deal with. Those old school Magic players might call it Splinter Twin, a 2-card combo that just immediately won the game and was banned from Modern. But it definitely has that flavor. It does require you to pay a deck building cost, which means everything in your deck has to be one of, except for the 2 cards that you're going to use as the combo anyway. When you have 2 Thassa's Oracles and 2 Tainted Pacts, then you're gravy, because you need one of each of those cards to win. It also means that if you have a Tainted Pact and you can cast the first Tainted Pact you draw to go get a Thassa's Oracle, and then the second Tainted Pact you draw to win the game. It's hard to draw these individual cards, so we have a lot of weird card choices in the build to make sure that it all comes together. For example, we have tutors. We have Wishclaw Talisman. We have Grim Tutor. We have, some versions have Mastermind's Acquisition. By the way, the deck building credit. This is the build of Dimir Pact that Austin Berkovich played in the Rivals League. So when I say it's Pro League Tainted Pact in the title, it's because this is the version designed by somebody who played in Rivals or MPL. And I like covering the decks that they choose to play, even if the MPL and Rivals are going away at the end of the year. Covering the pro scene and bringing you the decks that are making waves there is always part of a goal of mine, because you need to be prepared for them, because people in the know will copy them and play them against you. And what I'm doing is kind of doing that, but I'm also sharing it with a wider amount of people so that you can all be prepared for it. You can adopt it if you want it, or you can prepare for it. Personally, I would not craft this deck. It is kind of budget for Historic because there's so many one-ofs and a lot of them are uncommons along the way. But I have a feeling that Tainted Pact will get banned in the very near future. The deck was a tremendous amount of the metagame and put up absolutely gross win rates in the Pro League. So I suspect that this card might be banned even by the time you get to watch this video. It could strike like lightning at any moment. They could also wait for this Historic anthology that's coming out, because it has the card Stifle in it. And Stifle can counter the triggered ability of Thassa's Oracle for just 1 blue mana. But honestly, this deck would play Stifle too. Another interesting thing about this list is that it doesn't run Search for Azcanta. The card was actually banned from the Pro League play because right now there's a bug where if Search for Azcanta is flipped, it actually adds to the devotion of the Thassa's Oracle, and it's not supposed to. So they banned it. But so you might want to add a Search for Azcanta to the deck if you are feeling like maximizing the strategy. But again, craft this at your own risk. I personally do not do what I do because I say to do it, but I crafted 4 Tainted Pacts because I think I might get the wild cards back when a ban occurs. Anyway, since there are other tutors like Fae of Wishes that can access your sideboard, there's another Tainted Pact in the sideboard as well as another win con in Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. The 15 card sideboard for a traditional, I pared it down to 7 for the wish board because you know me, I like to best of one things. But if you want the full sideboard, search for MPL and Rivals historic deck lists on the magic.gg esports page and search for Austin Berkovich. I know, really easy stuff. Really easy to find. But I'm sure that those of you who usually play best of 3 are going to come up with it just fine. MTG Melee is also a really good site to browse for complete best of 3 deck lists. So, should I go over every single card here? No, not really. It's historic, so there are a lot of cards here that you may not have seen, but understand that the general game plan is the same. Disrupt the opponent, stop them from killing you, kill their stuff, find the Tainted Pact, find the Thassa's Oracle, win the game. Everything here is like a counter, a hand disruption spell, a removal spell, or a way to dig for your combo, and you play them in that order. Of course, watch the gameplay. We're about to show you some of the absolute nonsense that this deck can create. Thank you very much to Brandon Peterson. Today's video is dedicated to you. Thank you for supporting for a long time on Patreon. I appreciate you. You are very awesome. Now, let's get a cosmetic in your honor, and it's actually 90% off this beautiful Pack Rat. There's a rat theme in the store today, and Pack Rat is actually a card that is in the sideboard, the full traditional historic sideboard for the deck, because it is a self-contained win con. So we're going to grab this Pack Rat in honor of the Tainted Pact deck and in honor of your patronage. You can also get a video dedicated to you. Check out the Patreon page or hit the join button below. $4.99 a month to support the channel. Thank you very much. And it's also time to renew Twitch Prime. So to any of you who support me on Twitch Prime, please check that out. Link in the description. Let's dive in. Let Tainted Pact nonsense begin. Nero's a 95%er, so we have to win. Zerda. What's Zerda in historic? I'm not sure. Somebody who plays it all the time is yelling it out in the comments like I should know this. Maybe I should. Maybe I should, but I don't. I just don't know. These are both tap lands. I think I just play the one that gains a life because I don't know what I'm playing against yet, and I want the scry to be useful. I want to know what I'm looking for. Grixis, here's the Thought Erasure. So we didn't hold up mana for the Mystical Dispute, but I have no regrets about that. They take the Oracle, leaving me with 1, but Lurrus can get it back. And honestly, the card I want in my hand right now the least is the Oracle, so I'm not even sad. Let's threaten the Censor. The opponent kept on top. They know now to play around Mystical Dispute, Supreme Will, so you're probably just going to see them drop lands for a long time, so let's cycle the Censor. There's our Thought Erasure. Let's play black. Thought Erasure with Dispute open. What's going on? A lot of Planeswalkers. Okay, the Narset's a big problem. Their Thought Erasure we can Mystical Dispute, but they can't even cast the Narset yet. So I think we let them have all of this and take the Thought Erasure, because it's the cheapest card, and we have a lot of counter spells that work by cost. All right, so now we have the castle, which lets us scry through our deck, which is nice. If we draw an island, it comes in untapped. So I guess we'll try scrying first. The Omen is nice. More selection. Alright, they draw a red source. They can cast the Zerda, that's an eliminate target, so that's an easy one. We could eliminate it now or cast Vision. I want the Omen. We don't want to bottom it, so we'll eliminate. We could buy the Lurrus. We know they can't really play much. Seems good. We want to probably at some point play the Omen, keep hitting land drops, sacrifice the Omen, get it back. Oh, that's one way to do it. I guess they decided they wanted to get the Mystical Dispute out of the way. No reason to set up Lurrus right now. It would just die. It's kind of half of our combo now. We need to find Pact. Thought Seize. That's mean. What do we do? We could try to find Brainstorm. Let's do that. We don't find it. Spell Pierce doesn't counter it. Inquisition probably doesn't help us too much. But Spell Pierce keeps Liliana from coming down, so I guess we'll take it. Let's let them make a choice now. They'll probably take the Lurrus, but we'll see. The Spell Pierce is really painful for a Planeswalker deck, and they take it. I'm trying to save the passage in case we come up with a one of Brainstorm, which, yeah, I know. Not too likely, but that's the way it is. All right, we find a Thoughtseize, we find a Swamp. What you got? Another Narset, and we'll take that. Makes our game plan a lot harder. So, if we play this, and the opponent Bloodchief's Thirsts it, that's pretty bad, so let's save it. Because we can use Omen, get it in the graveyard, play this, bring back Omen at instant speed, and protect. Memory Lapse, Grim Tutor. Very close to combo. Very close. One, two, three, 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. Here's Lurrus. Here's Oracle to get the tutor into the hand. We know the opponent can only deal with the Lurrus at sorcery speed, so the Memory Lapse is good. And then we can sack the Fable Passage to go get an island. Memory Lapse the sorcery speed removal. Next turn, Kasthas's Oracle, Grim Tutor for Tainted Pact. Opponent takes a draw with the castle. 6 mana. We'll see if they came up with a cheaper removal spell as well. Yahenni's Expertise. A cheap removal spell, a counterspell, or a hand hate spell gets them out of the spot. Let's see if they found one. Nope. Memory Lapse puts it back on top. Turn passes. Grim Tutor. Tainted Pact. Alright, full control. Cast Thassa's Oracle. Trigger on the stack, cast Tainted Pact. Turn this off. Hit resolve. And now we have a choice. We can either rope out to exile our library, or we can click decline as many times as we want to. Either one will work. I'm just going to leisurely hit the decline button. And if we end up roping out, that is totally fine. There it is. Hello, rope. Can I make you click go faster? How do I speed up rope? Oh, it actually is every time I make a little decision, it's going, so it's probably faster overall. As rude as this looks, it's probably faster overall to just let the rope go. This looks disgustingly rude, but I swear it's actually faster. It's actually faster. Roping to death. Nothing like using the rope for lethal. I think, is there a lower low that one can stoop to than abusing the very system put in place to make you play faster as a win con? Is there something more disgusting? That you know, some of this you just can't find in standard. You have to turn to historic for nonsense to this level. It does feel kind of bad. I'm telling you guys right now, I'm narrating my thought process right now. Just, I wish I could tell my opponent it's for the best. I know it's not nice, but it's for the best that we just chill and let the rope hit 0. Because when it hits 0, it's going to exile our entire library really fast. Maybe really fast was an overstatement of the situation, but now I don't have to click, and that's what's really important. And then the Oracle goes off and we win. Easy. Wow, 2 Oracles. What is going on? I guess we can play 1 to get a look at the top of the deck and try to find the pact. Yeah, if we just draw a pact, we're going to win, so we keep the hand. But I guess I have to play this. Awkward, because we don't have an untapped duel here, so we can't Inquisition. Yeah, we're just going to try to Oracle into a pact. That's the plan. Our opponent goes straight to the Woe Strider. We're going to have to Inquisition something like a Mayhem Devil. Ooh, a Languish is nice, actually. Yeah, so we'll play you. See if we can find a pact quickly before we're dead. Mystical Dispute's too slow. Island is unnecessary, so bottom. But we know that we have Mystical Dispute and an island on the bottom. Our opponent's going to scry. Tells me that if they hit a land and they keep on top, they're probably just going to Coco here. Collected Company. Yep, easy. Easy. Opponent making Magic look so easy. Let's see what they hit. Mayhem Devil and Mayhem Devil? Yeah, easy. Magic is very easy. I'm going to try to save this till next turn. We'll see. All right, now what? If we play the other Oracle, we probably lose the game. But we're probably going to lose the game anyway, unless we top deck Tainted Pact. So let's cast the Inquisition. Let's take the Claim, I guess. I should have blocked last turn because of Claim. I'm an idiot, but I guess we need to take a Devil. They don't have red, so that's the bright side. They don't have red. They don't need it. They get their cards like put directly onto the battlefield. Down to 11 already. Play your Paradise Druid. I mean, they'll probably draw a red source anyway, because they get to draw so many cards from this Midnight Reaper. Miscast. Alright, we're still trying to top deck Pact for the win, though. This is where we get to watch Woe Strider sacrifice every little thing, one by one by one, and deal 1 damage to our face. And scry. One of the most common questions I get every single day, probably 10 to 20 times a day, is why don't you play Historic? This is the biggest reason. Decks that play Cat Oven, Woe Strider, Mayhem Devil, I never want to see them again in my whole life. Like, more than Rogues, more than anything, like the fact that it's just an omnipresent deck in Historic, I want nothing to do with it. Ever. Ever in my life. So that's the reason for those of you who just spend your days thinking of how to ask me why. Still no red source, huh? Maybe they just don't need to use a red source this turn. 2 priests, 1 brainstorm. All right, we might brainstorm lock ourselves, but we might also hit the pact and win. So I think we go for the maybe win. There are no packs here. All right, nothing to deal with the board either. Hold on to Omen, hold on to Censor. Put away one of the lands for sure. And put away what? Cling? Cling's life gain is pretty helpful, but miscast can counter a Coco. Censor pretty much can't here. I guess we'll put away a Cling. And in this order. And here. And go. Opponent might be setting up for a Bolus's Citadel. And maybe if we're really lucky, we can censor that. They play it tapped. Huh. Their draw must have been pretty nasty. All right, they're holding up Coco, so we have to be careful. Let's start with an Omen. The Cling is life gain. And another card. Let's actually keep it. I exile Collected Company. I'm trying to trigger their mind into casting Collected Company. Oh my gosh, they did. Miscast. Draw. Draw. Fae of Wishes gets Tainted Pact. But we have to survive a turn. Do you think our opponent can kill us through a censor? Let's find out. They might just have Citadel. Seven life. Tower. If they go for Citadel without sacking a priest here, we censor them. Oh my gosh, they did. No, opponent, no. They didn't play around the one censor. They didn't play around the one censor, and now they will die a hideous death. Thassa's Oracle. Trigger on the stack. Tainted Pact. Resolve. Let the rope commence. I guess they've seen this movie, and it's a scoop. Lurrus versus Lurrus yet again. The push is probably only good against the Lurrus itself. The Behold is nice, though, and the Tutor is nice. Let's try it. And we have blue, 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 blue. Only one black, so I'm going to play the Triome. Makes me a little nervous. Then we're going to get the castle out of our hand. Whoa! Auras. Auras it is. Man, we're going to get bottlenecked on these black sources, too. There's nothing for the push to do but get rid of the Savior. And the Duress could take a key aura away. So maybe I'm supposed to foretell the Behold the Multiverse right now. And try to find better answers. So next turn we can Behold and use one of these 1-drops. Yeah, here we go. Can't get rid of it. So we just have to combo, I guess. Languish. Languish. Let's... we need another black. Let's see what we can do here. We need another black. We're also trying to combo. There isn't another black there, is there? All right. And we don't find it. The Sweat it is. I would love to push this, but the dog just says no. The Duress might be able to take an aura. Okay, we take their one aura and hope they don't draw another. 0 auras drawn. The best aura they could draw. Nice. Cool. How do we get rid of it? Now the Languish isn't any good. There's the black too. God, they had to draw that, didn't they? They had to. So if we Languish here, we can push next turn. But then we still have to deal with the other Spirit Dancer and the Sentinel's Eyes in the graveyard. But if we get Shadow's Verdict, we might not be dead here. There is one in the sideboard, right? Yeah. All right, please don't draw another aura. Please don't top deck another one. They also won't have enough to get the eyes back. Come on! Oh my god! Oh my god! Alright, the problem with duress is when you know when they just luck sack the holy crap out of you. But what can you say? The deck is called Auras after all. Top 1000 battle. And we get to go first. Our opponent also on the Luris. Do you get a mirror match for your first bit of content, or do we get rogues? Either way, I don't know if we're happy. The Nanbo, the Scrabbling Claws, and the Drown in the Lock here together. Absolute Nanbo achieved. Let the scrying begin. Let's go straight for the hand. What you got? What do you know? It's the same deck. So I guess we'll take the thing that's the most selection, which is the Omen. This is an interesting one, but of course they can play it from the graveyard. Getting it exiled with the claws could be nice, but I bet we'll still be able to tag it in the very near future. Hitting the Mind Stone and the ramp card could also matter, but I don't think so. That's a big tell on the Pact of Negation, by the way. I guess they know. Now they know. Let it go. So how do we use this Drown in the Lock and this Scrabbling Claws? It is interesting that we can sort of protect ourselves from the Cling to Dust. So whatever they target in our graveyard, we can knock it away with the claws. That's pretty fun. We'll see if they know that. Evolving Wilds, okay. Now we could just sacrifice this to draw, but I don't feel like I need the card right this second. Let's pay the 3 life. Let's grab Luris. Kind of a race to having an effective Luris here. The opponent has Fatal Push, which is pretty good at just killing the Luris. See if they go for the Cling. They do. All right, so we go target player exiles card from graveyard. We target ourselves, and we choose the Thought Erasure, and they don't get a card. Got him. Now the Cling's in the graveyard, and the claws can be sacrificed to exile it. Do we do that now? Yeah, we're not really threatening anything with this 1 mana. Although it might be useful against a Luris later. We have to keep track of how many cards they've got engraved. They got 4. If they have 6, they can flash this back in response to it being targeted, and then we don't draw a card. So gotta watch out. Most plays they make aren't going to cost that much. So Drown in the Lock can be effective if they only have 2 or 3 cards in the graveyard, I think. Yeah, let's just get the card. Then we can get that back with Luris, maybe. Okay, we draw our Omen, which is nice. We draw a Pact, which is half a combo, but the opponent's going to have lots of counter spells and things of that nature. Let's go for the Omen. See if we can hit land, dig for the combo, and dig for Thought Erasures and all that other stuff. So Solve the Equation doesn't get us the... doesn't get us quite what we need. Spell Pierce is interesting, but I think we bottom that too, because I think that the cards that add mana to the opponent's spells, I think they're going to be too slow. Now, do we tap out here? We have the Pact, but we can't pay for it because we don't have the land, so it's not a very good keep. Our opponent's going to give up their Mind Stone. They want better cards as well. Oh, the careful taps. We gotta have double blue here for this. Grim Tutor. So if they have Thought Distortion in their deck, we have to counter the Tutor. And they're expanding it. Oh, you don't do that in response, because when you make that play, I get to make this play and just counter the target of the expansion, and you get neither. And yeah, that's game. Oh, that's a pretty bad misstep. And we are back for the post-game wrap, and this deck is annoying. I think that's the best way to put it. It's a very annoying deck. It messes with a lot of things about Magic Arena. One is a 2-card kill combo that's hard to interact with and incredibly cheap. The second thing is it actually does make more sense to rope out your opponent to trigger the win con, which is just cheesy and terrible, and should never be a thing, quite honestly. So I will not be surprised one little bit if Tainted Pact is banned even before you watch this video. It might wait a few weeks, like I said in the intro, for Historic Anthology 5 and Stifle to see if that will stifle its progress, but I think more likely this card will just be a goner in the near future, and hopefully you'll get those Mythic wild card refunds. So a few notes. Yes, of course you should play this deck. Of course it's tier 1. Of course it can get you to Mythic. Of course it will have a decent win rate. Now, I don't think there's a lot of question about that. So a few notes about producing videos. I'm going to be experimenting here and there with shorter videos, and I'm saving this to talk at the end because those of you who stay till the end are the ones that are affected the most by this. Over half the audience, I would say 60% of the audience, is gone within 15 to 20 minutes of a video, and the 40% that stay till the end are, of course, very cool. There are a lot of people who want me to play things like Brawl and Historic and show off a wider variety of what Magic Arena has to offer. And I am into that. Standard has been something I've been mostly locked into because of views. My standard videos always get higher views, and no matter how old Arena gets, a lot of people will only play standard and they're not interested in Brawl, Historic, Limited, anything of that nature. But as the client ages, I think more people will probably become interested in Historic, the people who stick with me the most, and that is... You know, I do need to, in a way, serve that audience, or they're just going to go look for it somewhere else, and then they won't view my videos anymore. So that's something I have to always be cognizant of. So I'm going to probably experiment with some Historic and Brawl content, but I've got to do it in shorter videos because I don't magically have more time to make extra videos every single day. And honestly, it's a lot more recording intros and outros and setting up titles and descriptions, which is not my idea of fun. That's not what I enjoy about being a YouTuber. I enjoy playing the games and streaming the games. So yeah, that's a bit of a hard pill to swallow. So the best way that I can cope with this, I think, is to try shorter videos, and that's going to affect you very cool folks who stay till the end the most, which means that if you see a 20 to 30 minute video, you feel cheated because I didn't have time to record the rest of it. So I want you to know that if I am doing a shorter video, it should be like nearly 100% of the time, it should be because there's another video coming out later in the day. And I don't release my videos at the same time because I don't want them to cannibalize each other with the hype when they first release. So I've been experimenting with, do I release it an hour later, 2 hours later, 3 hours later? Right now I'm trying 4 hours later and trying to figure out the right way to do that. So if you see a video and its length is like 20 to 30 minutes instead of 40 to 50 minutes, assume that there's another video coming and that you'll still have an hour of CGB content through the day at some point. And if it's your tradition to watch that hour all at once, like on a lunch break or something like that, and you feel cheated, try to keep in mind that you can just wait and watch 2 videos the next day. Like you can watch the videos like back to back the next, like yesterday's late video and today's first video. You can stack those together. The lengths might be awkward, but it'll still fill up an hour. It might feel bad the very first time you see it's just 30 minutes. Anyway, little ramble, let you in on what I'm thinking, why I do what I do, because you guys who stay till the end are the ones who are actually affected by this, but know that most people don't. Most people leave. most people don't have the stomach for this much CGV. They don't have the strength or the fortitude like you. So that's something that makes you cool. Reminder to renew Twitch Prime. It is the middle of the month. So to any of you who have an Amazon Prime account and you want to support the channel for free, check out Twitch Prime. There's also a video in the description that tells you more about it from an actual subscriber to my channel, Dusty Porter. So check that out. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. I opened my friends list. It looks empty, but that's just because it's a bug. I have billions of friends, okay? I've got you guys. Who needs friends? You're cool.